review was today, the kids would have it on the video and they'd go to it and figure it out. And when they come back, they're ready to roll. And these kids have been really good. I gave a quiz today, and kids that weren't even here yesterday that got on the video did well on the quiz because they got on the video. Now, if they don't get on the video, and I've had a little trouble with my other class figuring that out, if they don't get on the video, it won't work. It just will not work. So make sure the kids understand that and kind of go from there. I talked about reading assignments and evaluation of biography assignments and exams and participation. We talked about all of that. And basically what the points are for is to be here, be on time, bring all of your stuff, and participate enthusiastically what they do. I'll get to what Mrs. Lamb was talking about. This class is graded on total points, 90, 80, 70, 60. Right now I don't have any kids even close to a C, not even close. I don't anticipate that. They would have to really decide they're not interested in this class or fall off the face of the earth to get a C in here, because we're not going to let them do that. My job is to teach them. If I got 4 kids with a C, I screwed up somehow here, because this bunch of kids in here should not be C students. Matter of fact, you can ask your kids. I would just assume every one of them, all 26, had an A at the end of the semester. That would be my goal, and hopefully that would be theirs as well. So, but according to the policy we put in, all the way around, if a kid in any AP class would end up with a C for the semester, they would, at this point, be out. Now, I'll be honest with you, I'm not worried about it here, but I know there's some talk among the other AP teachers that are trying to talk the administration to maybe soften that first semester, because, like Cody said, we're having some trouble with rigor here.
On the paper it says less than a C, so does that mean?
Oh, I got it wrong then. No, it should be a
That's
C.
what I'm
Yeah, no, you're right. Should say C.
Okay.
But I swear I'm not even worried about that. I would be very disappointed if your child ended up at the C in this last semester. I just don't see it. I can tell already that's not going to happen. I can tell. In my other class is the same way. I can tell that's not going to happen. So we wouldn't worry about on that. Classroom rules, you can read all that you want. You know, be to class on time, bring proper materials. The only thing I would encourage you, these are honors kids. I'm not the type of person that says if you don't turn the paper in, you get a 0. I think everybody can screw up. So what we say to the kids is if we have a paper due, like a biography, October 1st, if it's not turned in October 1st, they have 1 school day to get it done, and then we only give them 50% best on it. So we want stuff. We don't ask for that much stuff. I don't give that much homework, so I really do expect them to have their stuff in on time. I'm not much of a cell phone guy. I can tell you a real humorous story, but I'm not sure it fit everybody, but it was a good one. But anyway, I'm not very good with cell phones. I don't want the kids to have cell phones in here. There's no reason to have cell phones in here. I tell them if you have a cell phone in here, make sure it's off. If it buzzes or goes off, or you're texting your boyfriend in here, you just lose your participation points for the whole week. That's how it works. So don't bring it in. On occasion, I might have a project, because I'm not that stuffy. I'm pretty stuffy, but we might have a project, then we'll say bring your phones. But generally, they don't need it. Okay? What they need them for is to check their grades on Infinite Campus when they leave the class. So I haven't had any problems with that. Food and drinks, we've had a little bit of an issue on that. You know, we're getting all this information, you know, I don't think you can compare Worland, Wyoming to inner city Detroit, but you know, there is issues with kids bringing things to drink that aren't proper, and you have to have a little bit of a trust value there. I know there's been somewhat of a push that they shouldn't bring anything in to drink, because you don't know what's in it, you don't have time to check that. You know, my feeling is, we all could use something to drink, so if they bring something in with a cap on it, I really do not want the custodians to have to clean up messes, so as long as they bring something with a cap on it, I don't really worry about it. Some of these teachers let kids bring pizza and everything else in here. That's not me. If it's right after lunch, you should be plenty full. I've had kids come in here, if you bring something in, we just put it in the receptacle there and it's lost forever. So that's how it works. We just don't want to do that. We do all of our testing out in the commons. This is a really big class, so it's kind of hard to, you know, keep kids comfortable. So we do everything out in the commons, 2 to a table. The kids are very aware of what procedures are. They do very well on it. Very, very pleased with the kids. I want to talk about, again, the AP National Exam, and I'm going to kind of read this to you. Now, this exam this year will be May 6, 2016. Your kids will not be taking it this year. Okay, that'll be for AP Calc and AP Biology and AP Literature, because I got them for 2 years. But it'll be around the same time in 2017. The examination is 3 hours and 15 minutes long. It's got 4 components. It's got Stimuli-based multiple choice questions, that's 40% of the test. Short answer questions, which are 20. A document-based essay question, which is 25%. And then a long essay question, which is 15%. So you can see how much they're writing. And so the exam is graded on a 5-point scale. Generally, most public universities award credit replacement to students who earn a 3 or higher, while many private colleges require a score of 4 or 5. Just depends on where they're going. And again, that becomes college credit with their name on it. There's no transfer issue, okay? So it's a little bit different. I hate to even say this, but it's true. The U.S. History test is the toughest of all AP exams. 50% pass-fail ratio on the AP History exam. So I don't, I would hope I could get him there, but I'm not going to guarantee you that. The reason to me that your child should be taking the AP U.S. History is threefold. One, they'll be prepared for college. I will guarantee you if they get into a history lecture-based class, which they're going to be, they'll be ready for it. They'll understand that. You also have that possibility of college credits. I don't want to throw that away, but it really fills the void of the student that has a passion for U.S. history, because they're going to learn from 1600 to the present in pretty good detail. So hopefully they will enjoy that. Kind of what happens is that if you're enrolled in this class next spring, you're required to take the AP exam. You can't opt out. You have to take it. Now, if you choose not to take it, if you don't show up that day and aren't excused or say, I'm not taking that exam, then you get a 0 on a semester exam that's worth 20% of their semester grade. Obviously, if they're sick or they have extenuating circumstances that keep them from taking the exam that particular day, because it's like the ACT, it's kind of one day and you never know, then we'll still give them a semester exam, which will count 20% towards their final grade, because we have to give them a grade. If they take the AP exam, we do not count it toward their final grade. It just is not done. Those kids just go out without a semester exam that semester, and we grade them on what they got third quarter and fourth quarter. Because I don't want to hold that against, I hold the test against them that has 50% pass ratio. So we're hoping that, I would hope that we'd have great success on this, but it doesn't, always work that way. I'm kind of not a pessimistic person, very optimistic person, but I'm not I'm not optimistic we're going to have 50% pass rate in this class next year. I hope we do, but I'm talking to Cody, that's been a real difficult thing. We have kids in here that aren't, I can tell you, that aren't ready for that type of test right now. I'm hoping like crazy they'll be ready at the end of the year next year, because we'll continue to work with them. But it is kind of an uphill battle. It really is. 50% pass ratio is not that good odds, right? So, but it is what it is. But again, I would not be concerned about that. I would be concerned about the knowledge that your son or daughter are going to take with them, and their ability to go to a college course and do well. And I think they really will. I have kids that I've taught the senior class to over the years that contact me all the time about how they use things that they had in the class in college. And that's why I give the kids the three-ring binders. I want them to keep that stuff, and I want them to take that with them to college, because it will make a difference if they're going to have to write reports. I have many kids that have written reports and done speeches on things that we talked about in this course. So very, very smart to keep. We have Blake Kroger, who his lovely mother is here, who's majoring in history at the University of Wyoming, who I had in not AP class but the honors class, and I talk to him quite often about how well he does because of the curriculum that he took in high school, how well he does at the University of Wyoming. So he thinks that he's just going to graduate in 4 years and kind of replace me, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be done in 4 years. Having too much fun. So anyway, that's kind of my spiel, but I just really thought it was important that you knew where your kids were on this deal. And basically, I wanted to show you this. This is your typical topic and subtopic sheet that the kids get. This is what we're covering now. We're covering settling the middle colonies. We talked about the rise of the New Netherland in America, the Dutch threat to the English leading to conflict, New York and New Jersey, the domination of New York and New England by King James II. And we're talking tomorrow about Pennsylvania and Delaware, where they came from. We go through this, have a review, have a test, maybe a reading or writing assignment, then we'll move on to the southern colonies, and we'll just keep on moving. There is a book, but there's only a book. Matter of fact, that's a good question, Brenda, because I almost told the kids today to bring your books back instead of taking space in the locker. I'm not a big book guy. Yeah, they do have a book. They do. They actually do have a $140 book in their locker. That's what those books cost us. But anyway, I'll just show you. This is what it looks like if you ever see it and want to know if your child You don't want them to lose it, because like I said, they're $140. Oh, whoa. But anyway, I think I'm gonna have them bring them back in so you don't get a bill at the end of the year, because we really don't use them too much, to be honest with you. So, kind of go from there. Does anybody else have any questions or all? I hope I answered them, and I hope you understand kind of what we're doing. I would say this, that, you know, I'm in the business because I love kids, and I'm thrilled to have your kids. Yeah.
I understand the change from the two-year class and take the test next year, but do they get credit from PAL this year since it has not changed on this?
This
class?
is not a, no, this is not a POW course. This is not.
This is not.
No. Matter of fact, I'll tell you a quick story on that. I've never been accused of being too smart, but when 2 years ago when I taught the senior class, I petitioned to get the ability to teach concurrent and get kids Northwest College courses. So I went to this tremendous amount of work and set up my curriculum, and set up everything we did, and it was a course that was going to be entitled the 1960s, and I'm not being arrogant, there's no way that this professor in Northwest, none of them have this information. I mean, I just spent a week with Blake in Dallas, and I can guarantee you these guys have not seen what we've seen. Well, I got back the report, and they denied me because they felt it was a sophomore level college class instead of a freshman level class. Well, that was just their way of saying, you know, we're not going to have you do this, and they don't, and they're moving away from that. So there isn't any college. This is, that's a good question, Gil, because this is an advanced placement course. Now, I want to kind of, that's a good question. Mr. McGee has kind of got some things going that aren't normal, but it's good for kids. He's going to give them AP status and let them take the AP exam, but they also are going to get the Northwest College in his class, the AP Literature, because they're still letting him do that. He wanted to be able to offer both. He's also just offering the Northwest class, which is less rigorous. But the AP courses that we have in chemistry and biology and U.S. history, and soon to be literature when Mr. McGee gets the chop off, are all AP, have to pass the test to get the credit. But on their transcript, it will say AP U.S. history, which will mean more to a college than regular U.S. history.
So this,
What's the difference between AP and honors?
Not this year.
AP curriculum, like the honors U.S. history. It's a class that's a specified class, it goes into a lot of detail that we give an honor status, but it doesn't have any college credit with it, unless you're certified by PAL, which Mr. McGee is the only one that is. So an honors course, they're going to go away after this. This is the last year we're going to see honors courses. This class that your kids are in are AP U.S. History 1, and next year it'll be entitled AP U.S. History 2. And his class will go from honors English to AP Literature. So the honors is going to go away, and it's all going to be AP.
Last question.
No,
At
that
the end
can
of
be
the
last.
year, can you get the first half exam and do a practice exam for what they learned?
You have
retention.
Yeah.
Over
Well,
the summer.
yeah. Well, I'll try to answer that delicately. Okay. I just sent an email over to the big boys and girls over at the office saying that I would like to purchase 30 books at $25 a piece that are sample questions. And I haven't got a response on that. My reaction is on a scale of 1 to 10. So what we might have to do is offer the kids the opportunity to purchase those if they won't buy them and let them take them home for the summer. But they do have those, and that's ironic you said that because I just emailed the curriculum people yesterday and asked if they would purchase those. I think they would be beneficial.
Whose decision is that, whether to fund that?
Well, I would say at this point it might be curriculum directors, you know,
Or the district?
yeah, who is that?
Or the district?
Yeah, for the district. That, the AP, all the AP expenses, like our training and the books and everything for this class, came through the curriculum, the curriculum director, and I don't know if they have special funding. That's exactly the question I asked her is, can I buy these, or I have to take out the social studies budget, which is about that big. But I don't know, we'll see, but it'd be a central office decision. I'll let the kids know when I find out. I haven't got an answer back on it. But we do want to try to provide that opportunity so they don't lose. And then I'm obviously going to have to go back next year and refresh them. But it'd be way better than trying to slam it. It was wouldn't happen.
How long does it take to get results back? You know, if you're given a grade 6,
I don't think it'd be much different than the ACT, about 4 weeks. About 4 weeks. You got to remember how many are correct.
Right.
Yeah.
I came in late, so next year this will count as a college credit?
No, only if they pass the AP exam.
Only
will
if they
they-
pass that. And then does the credit, is it only for Northwest
No,
or any of them?
No, the great thing about AP, other than the fact it's hard to pass the test, is that if they go to Texas Tech, it's Texas Tech history credit. If they go to BYU, it's BYU history credit. Otherwise, if it's Northwest, sometimes they do have a little difficulty getting that transferred. If you stay in state, it works pretty good, but sometimes if you go out, it doesn't. But it is more difficult to get.
No.
That's a good question.
Are they offering, they're still offering the college classes that they can get ahead of by the time they're in school?
No, one of the things I mentioned is that they're making it very difficult, they're not interested in concurrent enrollment, which is our teachers teaching, matter of fact,
Yeah,
Dr.
that's what Chillicothe.
Dr. McGee was told the other day that he's probably gonna have one more year, and then they're only gonna let people teach that have a master's in the content area. And what they're doing is they're going away from concurrent and going to dual, which they get paid. So our Northwest College credit, not next year, but the year after, I think it'll be gone.
So this junior class will be able to get those college credits,
This junior class could get English credit, yeah.
but no math and,
Because we don't have any professor here certified by Northwest to teach the class. When Jim Kruger retired, they said no, but they didn't do a new one. Dean Dupree retired, no new one. As soon as McGee does a year, maybe two, they're gonna cut him off too. And it's really sad, but it is what it is. So that's why we went to the AP, to be honest, because to try to make it up, but it is different because you have to pass a pretty grueling test to get it. So again, the college credit should not be the #1 priority to be an AP course, because it is not easy to do. It should be the college preparation. So, I hope I'm answering these right. Yeah?
Are your lectures based on the book, or are they based on your 35 years experience in?
Well, it's kind of interesting because I told the kids, you know, I've always started with Washington's presidency, okay? Because, I want to get up a ways, because I only had a year to do it. Well, I told the kids that I had to go back and get my notes back from, here, I'll kind of preface it with this. When I first started teaching my first 4 years, I taught 6 classes of U.S. history. Now that may seem boring to you, but I'm telling you, I learned U.S. history my first 4 years because I taught it 6 times a day, the 6 different classes, so to speak. And so I have really good notes from that point. I'm sure my notes would cover, the book would cover either one. I mean, it's not, but I had to go back and I found my notes which were on a typewriter. So I'm not kidding you, I spent hours this summer converting those onto, word processor. So this is new teaching for me in a way. I haven't taught it quite a few years, but it doesn't take long for it to come back. So yeah. So, but the book has, history's history, but the book has the same information, but here's the books right here.
History isn't history necessarily, depends on who writes the history, and
Yeah.
that's, there's a lot of difference there.
There is
For
too,
instance,
yeah.
The Civil War, was it about slavery? Is slavery what started it?
Yeah.
No, there's the other thought that, it was the tariffs and the difference between the economy in the North and the economy in the South.
And I think the important thing with that, along with the Kennedy assassination, you give them the information that you feel is pertinent historically, and then they get to decide kind of what they think about things. And you got to pick an AP U.S. history book. I had about 9 to choose from. I mean, I just went up to the guy at the top of the class and said, which one do you think is the best? I still teach on the rise of the American nation, which is a bit old, you know what I mean? But you kind of combine sources and kind of go from there. But they'll have a very good vision of what happened from 1600. I'm a little nervous because I'm a little disappointed too, because I spent a long time in the 60s, and I'm not going to be able to do that next year. We're going to have to go from 1930 and get going, so they're not going to get near the detail of the 1960s as I would like to. That's what happened. Maybe we'll teach a night class. And I might do that. I thought about it. If you kids want to come, one night a week, 3 hours, we'll really get into
I
this.
think that would be great.
Yeah.
You do know so much about that decade that I hate for them to miss out on
It
it.
saddens me a little, but we'll see how it goes. Somebody might be able to speak on that. I don't think anybody here. I was telling kids too, my first year teaching, the seniors that were sitting in the desks, well, actually I said in this class, in the case of juniors, I said the kids that were juniors my first year in education are 50 years old. So, and one kid said, well, my dad's not even 50. I said, rest my kids. So it's been a good journey. But anyway, your kids have been wonderful. And if they were bad, I'd say, if I thought they were bad, I'd tell you. I just said, well, I don't know, your kid probably should do it. Keller Rogers has surprised me a little bit, to tell you the truth. But we've had some good times in here. I think the kids might share some of it with you. And you're welcome to get on the website. Really, the last thing I want to do is not bore you, but I want to show you this website because I think it's really important that you know this. And you need to press your kids. If you know your kid's gone for a game or a field trip or they're sick, a question might be, hey, have you been on the website? Because we kind of expect them to come back and be ready to roll, you know what I mean? Because we have a time period to get to, and it's very, very difficult to get to that point if you don't move. Really, if you think about it, how much do we really teach on Friday, do you think? I mean, really not much. What I try to do is use enrichment there, maybe show them some video, maybe doing a different read, but you're missing half the kids every Friday. So we've got to kind of make up for that. But these kids have been really good about being responsible for their actions, which has thrilled me to death. The guidance website is right here. It does serve two different classes. I don't want to talk about that big fish there, but I guess you should know who's teaching the class. But anyway, both classes are on here. Then if you see here, it says Honors U.S. History course syllabus. If you're interested in the course syllabus for that for next year, it's there. Now these are video lectures, and I'd click on them, but because we're super secret service here, you can't get them. But this was the test review for the JFK election. The kids took the test today, so I'll be getting that off there. Then this is your AP US History right here, the course syllabus information, and these are the lecture presentations. This was the lecture yesterday on the 14th on the Middle Colonies, and this was the lecture today on the Middle Colonies. And they kind of go, this is the first one, this is the second one. What the video recorder does is it records for like 28 minutes, and then it kicks off into a new URL. And so that's why there's two. So if you only see one, you know the lecture was about 30 minutes. And you might see one that was 30 minutes and one that might be 3 minutes, just depending. So, but if you see two URLs there, that's the lecture, and it comes up live. Now, like I told the kids though, and it wasn't so much this bunch, but you know, it's hard to depend, if you don't get on this website and you depend on your buddy's notes, that isn't always good, because everybody doesn't take notes the same way. And I don't even think the lecture on the video is as good as it is live. But it is what it is, but it will make a huge difference for the kids. So they really need to be on this. If they have assignments due, those will be on there. It's just a real good way. And if you guys want to get on there and see what we talked about, you're welcome to do that. I mean, that's what it's for. So that's what the website looks like. And it's a,
Mention again, I'm a lot hard of hearing, my daughter would say. The difference between the two is what now?
the difference between two what?
The two YouTube things for each